Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today, we've got a new segment where we're going to be diving into a pitch deck and determining, based on the Talking Hedge, 7 points of a pitch deck debacle, or the 7 points to make an interesting pitch deck. On the line with us to help us kind of filter through that is Katrina Glogowski. She is an angel investor with Flora Fund. Katrina, thanks for being on the line with us.
Thanks, Josh.
So we have got a deck. I grabbed this offline on the internet. It is a cannabis, or maybe it's a hemp company. We'll have to figure that one out as we go through this. Canaway is the name. It's going to be based in Japan, apparently. And so we have a few tips to kind of go through, 7 points to make sure it's either good or bad. And after reviewing this, I think it's going to kind of fall into the latter category where it needs to be revamped in order to kind of get in front of more investors. Would you not agree?
I agree. Reviewing it initially, I have too many questions to make an investment decision based upon the information provided. So I would recommend some changes. Yes, Josh.
So first off, there's just too much information. There's too many slides or irrelevant information saying things multiple times. They didn't mention any competitors and they didn't introduce the team. So that's strike one right there. But getting into Canaway and what it is, or what they say it is, it's a natural choice. They're talking about what cannabis is and describing that on the second slide, and the difference between hemp and marijuana on the third. The history of hemp. Their mission is to share the science, products, and messages of beneficial cannabis. As the premier cannabis company, they use Mother Nature's gift to help provide everyday solutions for everyday people around the world. So I still don't know if they're hemp or cannabis, and I don't know what they're doing.
And Josh, I'm going to interject here. That is a perfect example of a useless slide. It does not differentiate them from any of their competitors. It does not provide a new product. It does not provide any information for an investor to say, this is interesting. What are the next 20 slides?
Right. And as investors and entrepreneurs and research and development professionals, I mean, we're both in the field looking at this every day. And so it should just kind of be automatic for us. And yet we still don't really know what it is. Their product issues is a second category we have, with an insufficient description, kind of insufficient design, loose concept, where the pioneers slide doesn't even talk about if they have pioneers on their team.
And a pioneer of what? I think 3-4 slides earlier, they were talking about the extensive history of hemp. And then they say they're a pioneer of hemp, but a pioneer of what? It's not clear.
They have a slide where it talks about the company's history and a first of many. So in 2009, they were the first publicly traded cannabis company in the United States. And then they talk about launching commercial CBD to sell across the US. And then the first direct sales company to offer CBD products in Europe last year. And yet I've never heard of them before. I find that kind of interesting. I'm not really sure if this particular pitch deck tells a story describing how it was developed and what the motivation is.
My comment about this slide, first of all, it's way too busy. If this is their company milestones, they've been in business since 2009 and they're fundraising in 2019. For what purpose? Why? That brings up questions. If this is a history of the industry, they do not clearly indicate that this is the history of the industry. Again, not clear. It doesn't help their pitch deck at all.
And to be clear, we'll get towards the end. I'm not even sure it is a pitch deck. It might be an MLM, a multi-level marketing, where they're trying to get individuals rather than investors. So we'll figure that out towards the end, maybe. But this next slide, so it does have some of the team members. There's 6 pictures, but I still don't really know like who they are.
The photographs are nice. There's no names. So an investor cannot go check LinkedIn, cannot Google these people. Do these investors, do these individuals, corporate team members have an experience in sales, in cannabis, in hemp, in corporate leadership? There's no information here whatsoever. And what truly concerns me, Josh, and we see this a lot in the angel investment community, the statement, the first company of its kind. Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really? I don't like statements like that. As an investor, all that does is raise a red flag. They either don't understand the industry, so they think they're first, or they're trying to trick the investor. Hey, we're first. Well, no, you're not.
Right. If you're going to tell me how you're different or what your differentiation is, you should talk about your competitors, and they don't. And that's another red flag. What they do say that their business is the global leader in providing hemp-derived cannabinoid solutions that address a global increase in cannabinoid deficiency. They're the world's first entrepreneurial legal cannabis opportunity, pioneering a hemp-derived CBD industry. Yeah, they don't even mention. I don't know what was that. Was that a mission statement or just a tagline?
Misleading to an investor who doesn't have a familiarity with the industry. And for a seasoned investor myself, I've invested in 12 cannabis and cannabis related industries, including hemp. No, they're not the global leader, and they are not first. This is not a true statement.
I don't know how many slides we're in. It's maybe a third of the way through, and I'm still not establishing a why, which is a ding, another um, negative, if you will, where it doesn't establish a why, describing why industry needs the product and what are your differentiators. Still doesn't really tell a story about motivation. Still looking for the exit strategy. Maybe we'll find that on the last page. Let's see if there's some
Josh, I'm
potential.
going to interrupt you here.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a cannabis company or a hemp company yet.
Well,
All the slides are about cannabis.
we have a couple doctors here on the next slide that talks about why CBD and what CB1, CB2 receptors are, and what clinical endocannabinoid deficiency is, and the endocannabinoid system, and talks about hemp-derived CBD. So maybe it's a CBD company.
Maybe. It'd be nice to know if that doctor on the slide was a member of their team, a member of their board of advisors. Missed opportunity there.
Yeah, that would have been helpful. So here's some CBD products. Again, I don't know if this is their CBD products or maybe just CBD products in general for skincare, nutrition, essential oils, edibles, hempware. Is this their stuff they're offering, or is this just random stuff that they could be offering?
And this, I think, Josh, addresses our confusion about, are they an MLM type company? Are they just going to do wholesale so you can white label? I've never heard of a single brand on this slide. Again, a missed opportunity.
I concur. So they talk about triple lab testing and some U.S. hemp authority certificate that we've never heard of.
I have gone state by state, all 50 states in the United States, and extensively researched 30 plus European, Asian, and Australian companies related to this and how you certify your product. I have never heard of U.S. Hemp Authority certification. Never heard of it.
Me neither. I jokingly said that maybe they came up with it, but
Maybe they're organic too.
so they talk about farming and heritage and creating an industry and some unique processes with their own world-renowned scientific team that is led by that doctor. So they end up finally saying it, several slides down that was a part of their team.
Yeah, we're on slide 20 or something. Finally, useful information.
Again, mentioning triple lab testing for some reason, duplicating that. And they talk about making a difference. And that this is the interesting part where they have 9 different ways to generate earnings plus a minimum income guarantee.
Red flag, Josh. Minimum income guarantee to a company. Red flag, red flag.
Absolutely. They have some goals and missions. Apparently, they don't state what they are. There's a soil to sale promise for a product experience. I don't know how they're able to guarantee that, though.
Uh, that is actually interesting to me because in the hemp and cannabis industry, both, contaminants are a big issue. It's all over the news about heavy metals and pesticides in the product. I think that's the strongest thing I've seen in their pitch deck, this soil to sale promise. That is a strong point, and they should focus on that.
So perfect point, and yet we're almost at the end, and no exit strategy, no potential risks, no call to action. They're at a point now where it says, "What now?" Talks about customers and brand ambassadors. So we finally get to see who the target market is, and it looks like it's us. Are we supposed to be selling this?
That is where the MLM comments that you and I made earlier I think we're on slide 25, and now it becomes clear that they are sort of a wholesale company and they want individuals to purchase their product, sell them for them. This is like an Amway model. And I have to say, as an investor, I'm not investing in a MLM. It's not going to happen. Now, if they want to say we're unique because we're now MLM, they're not. Hemp gold has been out there for some amount of time, and there's no acknowledgement of hemp gold at all. There's no the competition. This is not a good thing.
Yeah, I was hit up by an MLM a year and a half ago. So it's definitely not something that's unique at all. So we're at the very end, and yet there is no description of how investors will get their money back. There is no outline for investors or products and regulatory risks. There's really no call to action asking for an investment or use of funds. It's just kind of seems like a little bit of hyperbole with CBD and then using the Japanese market as a guinea pig.
I agree with everything that you just said, and waiting to the very last slide where if you sign up today to sell their product with this Amway model, we'll make you a board of advisor position.
Right.
Great. I'm an investor. I don't, no. The weaknesses you pointed out are very clear to me. There's no financials, there's no exit strategy, there's no comparison to what's out there now. And as you were saying, hyperbole. We're first. No, you're not. We're the only. No, you're not. We have a unique model. No, you don't. And we see this a lot at angel investment things where we're pitched a brand new idea. No, and that's a failure. That's a red flag for an investor, that you either cannot compete with your competitors, so you ignore them, or you haven't done the research and don't know the market, so you aren't aware that there is a competitor, a direct competitor. And that just, it's red flags all over the place. But I would like to summarize the strong point. They can fix this. The soil to sale promise is excellent, especially given the current state of the industry. And they could have a viable product. I think they could do this in 5 or 6 slides. Hey, we have a great product and we really care with this triple testing they're talking about, the soil to sale promise that they're talking about. All of this is wonderful. And then the next deck is, now go sell it for us. Five slides, done.
Yeah, I think they've got good bones, good structure. I'm excited to see what happens in Japan with the market. Ultimately, this deck isn't probably their best performance. I think that there's a lot that they could do to enhance that. All 7 items that we mentioned kind of failed to meet our expectations. Maybe this wasn't the deck that they intended, but I'm not really sure who would grab this and really get excited about it. So opportunities for you. With that, we're going to roll this one up. Katrina Glogowski, she's an angel investor with Flora Fund. Appreciate you being on the podcast. Don't forget to like. Thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't. And I'm out.
Bye.